So let's see, hopefully this is going to start. Let's make sure this is connecting, and then I will go. Oh, okay, cool. So one other thing is that my friend asked me to tell him. So hold on, let me just say. So I'm live right now if you want to watch. It's about 1:15 a.m. where I am. So when I did something stupid. I put some drink I bought into a container, like a one that you can seal. But then when I put it in my bag, somehow the top of it got undone, and it went upside down and spilled all over my bag and ruined a bunch of things. And it was some kind of chai latte with oat milk or something like that, which is unlike what I usually drink. I usually drink something with no sweetener in it whatsoever. The problem is that it has sugar, and sugar is terrible for electronics because it sticks. And so this is a cheap device that I happen to have had in my bag, and it got all in it. And so what I'm trying to do right now is clean out some of the inside of it. And there's a couple tricks that you can use. So first of all, of course, there is the classic sort of isopropyl alcohol, right? And you've got Q-tips, right? And then you've got toothpicks and things like that. But some of these splits in between here are really, really small. And you can find that it's below what a Q-tip can actually do. So there's a couple other ways to get in there. And I wish I had a pair of scissors on me. Hold on, let me see. I mean, the good thing about sugar is that, well, it will eat away at these components eventually, but it's not conductive. And so what you really want to avoid doing is anything with metal on it, especially because of a device like this. This is a Bluetooth connector, like a lot of the other electronics these days. It's permanently attached with this battery that is soldered in right there. And the solder joints are, of course, slightly ruined because of the chemical. But we're going to go over that. And so, unless I wanted to kill it, this is a live circuit. And then we solder it. But we're going to try to avoid that. There is no visual signs of damage right now. All that we want to do is really clean up the contact points. I used this device, which is something like canned air. And so with this thing, what I can do is I can turn on. You're going to hear it. And so that's a canned air thing. So I put it over it. That's about as much as you can get out of it. The only thing that we have now is there's a bunch of C all around this chip and at the contacts. Eventually, these are sugars. These are going to eat away at those contacts over the course of a few days. So either this thing's done, which is okay. You can just e-waste it. It's fine. Or we can sit here and try to clean it out. But as you can see, there's no real issues with the components necessarily. They're just kind of a little bad. So, although a toothpick is still too big, things like a sheet of paper like this, you can floss it. And sometimes it's a bit too floppy. And so another thing you can do is you can take a business card and you can just sort of chop off the end of it, and sorry about anybody's business. I'm not going to be contacting them. But then you have a little bit of better cardstock, and generally speaking, those can fit through the connectors like that. So then what you can do is you can do more of this flossing technique, and all that you're trying to do is just sort of clean these things out. Again, this is a live circuit, so you don't want to have anything contacting that's or else you can do a lot of you can bridge charge and do all those other nasty things and totally ruin it. And it's up here, so we're not going to bring it down. We're doing this all live. I'm just trying to get a better angle on it. I'll put it back into the camera soon. So again, this is something like beforehand when there was something else. Oh yes, the main board. I did end up selling that thing as is for like $75 or something like that. So yeah, it was much cheaper than what it would have been worth if I had successfully gotten those to be done. But there was another project that I had that was never on camera, but it was similar to this. It just didn't. It was with something that was much larger, so it didn't really. I guess it'd be hard to video it. And this is nice because we can have stuff like this. So even if you get something that like, oh look, it seems to be working with this stuff still like that, that's generally not what you want to have happen. You want to be able to clean it out because, again, these solder points are going to not get better over time with this gunk on here. It will eat away and eventually destroy it. And again, this is not an expensive device. This is more about skill increasing and edification purposes. Right? The question is, how else are you going to get better at things, right? You need to actually just do them. And sometimes you're going to fail. In fact, when doing things like this with electronics, most of the time you're going to fail. It's pretty hard to find people that have high success rates. And I thought that perhaps it was me, right? But I'm part of this crash space, hacker space. Lots of electrical engineers are there, and so I go in there and I'm like, hey, is there something stupid that I need to do here? And then I find out that like, not only do they seem to have the exact same solutions that I have, but my skill level in trying to get there seems to be about equivalent. Now, I don't want to be arrogant and say something like, oh, they're useless, because they aren't. They still have some advantages. But I'm going to say that it's not at a position where I feel like, I mean, I would really like to be in a position where I'd go in there and they'd be something like, oh, here's something really obvious that you just didn't do. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to, that's not what so I'm going to put some of the business card into the isopropyl alcohol, which of course will give me about, 5 minutes or so until this thing dries off. And hopefully that will give me some leverage and sort of brush. I wonder. So we have this acknowledgement that this is like flossing. I already said that, right? What if you brush it? What if you actually use a toothbrush? So I've got a toothbrush for cleaning. I never even thought about it. Let me try that. I've got a cleaning toothbrush. I think it's okay. Let me clean it out a little bit. I'm just going to brush it through. So this is actually one I got in Japan. Let me just try it. So now I'm just, you see, I guess you can't. It'd be blurry. But essentially I'm just taking this toothbrush right here with these bristles, right? And I'm just gonna brush it like I was brushing my teeth. There's these circles. Put a bit of water on there. And again, these bristles should not have any issues.
It's hard to remember.
I wonder.
Of that song because
See what happens.
say anything.
Can I brush the thing? Okay, well, That's kind of what I was expecting. Hey, you know what? Look, that's much cleaner, isn't it? So this had a bunch of gunk on it beforehand. Now we can take the Q-tip
It's hard to remember the words.
and probably pick things up. So I'm going through it with the Q-tip right now. Well, that's a dramatically better technique. Look at that, just a toothbrush. So it was the insight that felt like flossing. And then I realized, well, if flossing seems to be a nice analogy, then brushing, like brushing your teeth would work. And it did. That's remarkably good. So I haven't done this side yet. Let me go and clean off this toothbrush to make sure I get all the gunk out of it. I'm gonna do that again. I'm actually gonna slide it. Look at that contact. It's the one that's. Let's see if I can point to it. Oh no, I have to go this. I don't know how to do this. Doing like the weatherman is hard. Let's see. Then I have to go up here. Ooh, this one right here. Now I'm wondering if that and this one, if those are supposed to be there. If they were and they're no longer there, then we've done some real damage. But oh no. See, there's no leads. So there's no leads coming out of there. So I'd have to check the other side of the board. But that could be fine. Let me clean this thing off and then brush it again. That worked great. So I'm just doing those circular brushing that the dentist always recommends that you do whenever you go and visit him or her. And I'm just going to try that again. And doing it gently. And as I do, I can see these things go on and off. Because, of course, I mean, that's no surprise there. I'm doing very small shorts on this. So let's just see. Just go over it with the Q-tip. And there it is. That is a wildly successful way of doing this. I learned a brand new trick today. Wow. You know, when you use the right tool, it's really night and day. Now the question, of course, is whether a wet or dry brush is better. I would say sometimes, I would probably say I did this wrong. It should have been dried, or it should have been an isopropyl alcohol the entire time. But that's just so much better than what we had beforehand. Wow, look at that. That's just so much better. Now, of course, this doesn't mean that the thing works now, right? But wow. All right, let's try the other side. So there's not much on the other side. It should be mostly clean. Just some contacts. Of course, one of the things was we were going to check to see if that contact needs to be there or not. Although I'm just going to do something. I'm going to brush it a bit. I've detached the glue that used to be there. So what I want to do now is I could follow the leads. That was, no, look, there's nothing. You can't see anything there. There's no way that this thing would have just completely lifted the pads that much. That's just not it. I just flipped it, trying to go back in at this angle. Now those pads look all fucked. I want to make sure that it's the right angle. Nope, it's this one right here. Yeah, let me try it again. So I'm just trying to come in right at an angle. Brush it.
Now we begin to assess.
I mean, maybe. That could also be a glue. So there's some kind of sealant that you can put on these things.
Our real weight.
So let's just look. There's one right there. Let's just try that out a little bit. Yeah, you don't really need water. It looks like that you can do this dry, or just with like, a very small amount of water. Wow, it's just so much. It's night and day. It really is. I'm trying to get that chip right there.
We can get through this. We can win.
So the device should be off right now, but these things really aren't truly off, because these are usually yeah, there, see, it's not truly off. You can tell from the LED right there. See how it's a little on? So if I turn the light off, it should, oh, come on now. Yeah, see? So it's not truly off, just this little status one. So my question is, let me try to press the button, see if it turns on. I mean, the chance is that it was ruined prior to this, so now it's plugged in to be charged. So essentially, what I saw when I had pulled it out of the bag is that I was unable to turn it off, which because it had some kind of electrical short, and that could have just ruined the thing. So it could already have been hosed, and this could have been all in. So it was broken. So I started in a known broken state, with it being powered and broken. And the question was, could I unbreak it by doing this cleaning? And without any future, chance of that happening is low. That's the way to state that. It's unlikely. So it's not like I had an expectation. How can I go to? I was not planning to be here this long. I was just gonna get my bag and then go charge my electric car. But looks like I'm still here. Let me see what I can do with regard to. There's only like one place I can really sort of connect with this connect this thing to the stand. This is the stand that came with the device itself. I'm just trying to zoom out so I can get a more.
We can turn the country,
So generally speaking, what you'd see is
which makes it a little
some solder that would be, or some flux that would be on the board, some yellowish residue. You could also see maybe some burnout, or one of these connectors kind of popping off. But I'm not seeing any of those indicators. So alternatively, what could have happened is the short could have ran out the battery. This happened about, let's see, it's midnight. I would say 8 hours ago, maybe 9 hours ago. And this thing's got, I don't know, about 5 or 6 hour battery. So the idea that this thing could have been on or thought it was on and then killed the battery is quite reasonable. I can check the battery level right now. There's nothing wrong with that. So it's also rated. So you can see right here it's rated as 3.7 volts. So that's trivial. Let's just see what happens. Let's just so I turned it off. Let's just see if this light's going on. If it's off, then we're in good shape. And it is off, which is great. Let me hook up a voltmeter and see what I can get on that thing. Hold on, let me go get it. So I'm gonna go there to go to DC. I don't know why it starts as AC, but what I'm looking for is this thing to give me a 3.7. And I'm just going to turn the light on just so I can see this thing. Hopefully it's going to give me a very, very low number. And I want that to be true, but I want 3.5. Fuck. 3.5 is pretty good. That's about what you'd expect. Let me plug the thing in and see where we're at. So now, yeah, I want that green light to be on. It's still on. Now, I'm just going to ask for that power again. It's equivalent. It's the same. So this thing, it did not kill the power. Which means that it should be at a point of pretending that it's on. I'm holding down the button. I'm guessing it's done. Fucking sucks, right? I didn't even like that drink. I should have thrown it out. I was thinking about tossing it. It was kind of gross. So next thing to do is, well, I know that when I plug in a USB here, it's somehow getting up to that light. This button could be, oh, why is that just hanging out there? This button could be broken. So generally speaking, what happens with these things is that you can put a voltmeter from one end to the other, or a circuit tester. Yeah, that'll also work. So you can do something like this. Essentially, they have these see if I can do it. So now if I touch the ends together, I should get a sound. Oh, come on, just give me the fucking sound. I don't know why it's not giving me the beat. There it is. That's what I wanted to hear. So these ends should generally be off unless you... Oh, Jesus Christ. How can I do this? So that's what I want to hear. But I want to press down a button as I do this. But I'm not going to get that because I don't have enough hands. And I can't. So there is a helping hands, but it's not going to help me in this. So the button works. I was able to successfully do that. So basically I go. Oh no, that's exactly what I wanted to hear. Here. So you can hear that every time I press the button. So it means that the button is working. Alright, well, that's good. I was able to diagnose the button. And I mean, the logic says that it's this chip, right? That's the thing with all the fucking contacts. It doesn't seem to like me. And I'm also curious about that one. The one's labeled, I mean, I don't know if it's upside down, but the one's labeled U2. Let's see if I can, yeah, that one right there. Generally speaking, that would be a whatchamacallit. It's a what is that word? Diffuse. Or a diode. So there's no visual problems with anything here. I'm looking for any type of... I mean, I did get to it relatively quickly. I would say clean the sides of this chip again with the toothbrush. So what I'm doing is I'm doing all four sides just on the bristles and applying some pressure. Hopefully, if I go over it again, we want this. Then this. Yeah, so this looks okay now. And if I go back over here, let me kill the light. As opposed, so beforehand, remember we saw that the green light was on, and now actually I don't know why I can't pick it up, but a red light is on right now. Let me kill off the other lights in this room and see if this will work. Yeah, so if you can see the first one of those three, which is oh gosh, I have to do this. I don't know how the weatherman can do this. Here, it's this one right here. That one is on, which means again that there's probably some kind of slight short circuit that's causing that. So let's just see if we can identify any type of cleaning that could be causing that. Let's see what's going on here. My subscriber count is increasing on YouTube. I noticed that. I appreciate that. It's like in the 60s now. I have about as many YouTube followers as I do on eBay. And as I do on Twitter. So it's like the noise level of the internet, if you will. It's about 60. Yeah. It's what basically everybody gets without anything. I was at some theater earlier tonight, and this person was like, "Oh, it's her first show. She sold them all out." And then I was like, "Oh, how nice." And then they're like, "Oh, you should try something like that." I was like, "Yeah, I did. I have tried doing things. It's a fucking failure. I'm terrible at this shit." I told him that. Kind of killed the conversation. Like, oh. And then I should have said, you don't know how fucking lucky you are that when you do things, people care. Because lots of people, what happens is that they do things and nobody cares. They work really hard on things and nobody gives a fuck. And that is the default reaction that some people have come to expect. And it's kind of liberating. So I'm trying to get, so I noticed that there's at the bottom right underneath the CU8. I want to get rid of that. I say it's better to have nobody care, but I think that that's just because I'm an optimist, so that I look at the world in front of me and I say, this is good. It's an optimism by necessity. Or what is it? Pessimism, I think, like optimism as well. No, I have optimism of the intellect. I think that it's I'm always optimistic. If I was stuck in prison, I'd be like, "Oh, great, prison! I can practice my meditations. I can make sure I get my exercises right. I can reflect upon things that like there's I can look at anything as a positive event in life. It's just a matter of like attitude. Even the shittiest circumstances. And I'm kind of a guy that does. Like, I've had friends that commit suicide, and I'm like, oh, well, you know what? That's what they wanted to do. They're happier now. Like, I'm not in a situation where I'm like, oh, wow, it sucked. I'm like, you know what? All of their demons are gone. We're all gonna die. Alright, let's see. So C30, that is not looking good. Little issues right there. Sugar ate it away. Yeah, see? So C9, C30, that's essentially the kind of damage I was talking about, where you're going to get that. That's the permanent sugar damage. There's no way to get rid of that. So I'm going to try another round of isopropyl just to make sure I'm not going crazy here. I'm not actually going to, so it's right here. And this is something I've had in my bag for a long time, and I don't really use it anymore. So, yeah, I don't care about it that much. I mean, again, it's just, is it possible for me to fix it? Ooh! I pressed the button and I got the right light for the button being pressed. I'm just getting this green status always on. So I have it plugged in, and if I recall, I can do this plugged in. I wonder how much I spent in this thing. Watch, it was like $4. I'd be like, okay, well, this really is just bullshit at this point. Let me see. Accounts. Oh god. Orders. This is manufacturer B-O-U-T search orders. Okay, there it is. So I ordered this in 2020. Oh no. There it is. $14. That was it. 14 bucks. Alright. How much does it cost now? It's no longer around. This is called Bluetooth. Bet these are 20 bucks now. Oh, now they're even cheaper. There's some really cheap versions of this thing that don't really last that long. Oh, Ugreen's got one. Ugreen is generally pretty good. Yeah, so there's some really cheap versions of this like this that just almost immediately break. Oh wow, this goes right to USB stick. That's pretty crazy. Ugreen generally makes good hardware, so this would be a good one. This is the same equivalent. Again, it doesn't really matter. I used to use one of these things for my speakers. Essentially what had happened was I'd get feedback, system feedback, when I plugged it into the aux port, and then I realized that if I used a Bluetooth like this, I didn't have it because then it was plugged into nothing. Or it wasn't plugged into power. So I don't think this thing's going to work. That's pretty nice. I'm gonna go there. I'm going to probably the toothbrush trick is really nice. I'm glad I learned that here. This is not a total loss. That was pretty good. I'm glad I picked that one up and added it to my repertoire. And there are some hard to get places, just like there are with the teeth, I guess. I'm trying to get underneath there. I'm trying to get to, there's another way for me to point to it. Oh, I can do it like this. So I'm trying to, in fact, I do the piece of paper version. Trying to get, yeah. That is how it started, wasn't it? Yeah. It's okay. I mean, there's every indication. Right. Unplug this. No. There's no lights on at all. It's just dead. I mean, so there's a little bit of a degradation right there. I could see if right. So bottom right, approximately where my chin is and where my neck would be, those should also be hitting 3.7 right now. And if they're not, then it's a contact issue. But I don't think that would be a problem. So we want to see 3.5 or so pop up there. At least 3.7 would be amazing. But we're not going to. So we're saying 3.641. Yeah, it's fine. Yeah, those ones. So it goes in to this device. Then it comes. I wonder what's under the QC. What do you think? Do you think there's anything underneath that? Nope. QC's got nothing. Could have been more things to clean, I don't know. Yeah, so there's no lines that look like they're damaged. Everything looks to be clean. Sucks. Oh, listen, what's up with C27 there? Is that just inopportune lighting, or is that a problem? What's going on? Go in. Oh, come on now. You know, there's a bunch of things. Since I stopped working a while back, I was hoping to get better at. This is one of them. One of my personal goals. I'm just rotating the thing so I can have better access to the buttons now. I think I've gone over that yeah, I did go over that document in a previous video. There it is. I think it's fine. So now that we have better it's fine. You can go over each one like this. So you can see now everything's fine. There's no shorts. Ooh, I mean, still a bunch of gunk actually. Like, look at those. Shoot. It's really, it's so hard, isn't it? The buildup of plaque. I mean, can I just drop this entire? No, I can if I just take this cap off. Hold on. I'm just going to drop the entire toothbrush into this purple gold. No, I don't want it to drip. I want it to just be like sort of light. Watch now, just catches fire. I'd use the old halt and catch fire joke, but I realized it's not geeky anymore. There was like, I think it was like a movie called that or something like that. It used to be an inside joke. What are we doing here? Ooh, that was good. That was not a dumb idea. Well, it could have been a dumb idea. Maybe I ruined the entire thing. But as far as cleaning it goes, that was productive. So in the future, use isopropyl alcohol as the toothpaste. Take a toothbrush and brush the device. That is something. Keep in the back pocket. And look, I'm getting gunk off. This was a brand new one. Look at all that extra gunk I'm getting off of this. Okay, that one's done. I actually saw, or I should say, up in on Pico, I live in Los Angeles, there is a cotton tree. And I actually picked a piece of cotton for the first time. And it does have a bunch of crap on it, just like everybody says. And I did some cotton picking and removed the crap from it. It was one of those trees where like there's a bunch of shit on the ground and it's just like, okay, this person doesn't care. Okay, let's just try that. Do I have any more Q-tips around here? I think that was the last one. Oh no, I got another one right here. Brand new one. Let's see if this is so. As you can see, It's got nothing. I saw a cool play earlier today. That looked a nice review. It's the Fringe Festival here in Los Angeles right now. Lots of independent theaters going around. An opportunity. Oh yeah, I just talked about it earlier. I said, the lady was like, "Oh, it's her first show. She sold out." And I was like, "Oh wow, you lucky bitch. The show was good, but some people." I used to think that some people were foundationally more lucky than other people, like at some kind of inherent level. And I think that's still, I don't think that's invalid. Okay, am I done with this? I think so. I don't think this is gonna come back on. Ooh, what the fuck is that? Look at that. Look at that. Could that be part of the problem? We'll clean that off. I mean, it shouldn't be. Things should work kind of without much concern for whether those things are, well, they are fucked. They kind of fucked where it's like it's difficult to clean. Yeah, so those contacts do have that. Oh gosh, what's that? What's that lead damage right there? You can see between. Let's see, like here. That thing. I really want that to go away. So now I'm at a point of saying, well, fuck it. I don't know if this is going to turn on again, so might as well apply some pressure. It appears where the battery used to plug in, so it's fine. If you have some residue there. That's the antenna, of course. This is Bluetooth, after all, so you're gonna have some antenna on there. There it is. 2018 is the chip date. It even has 1121. Yeah, so that residue underneath there is probably why the USB plug is kind of janky. See that right there? Again, some of the stuff Oh no, I was able to get it off. Look at that. But say again, some of the stuff is kind of permanent. But it's no longer there. Oh, look, it's all gone. That was again a shocking success. I wonder if this thing's gonna plug a charge, or I should say, I shouldn't say that. I wonder if this will make the green light be more consistently on. So beforehand, if I just sort of moved it around, oh yeah, it does. It's more consistently on. I wonder if that was causing some more fundamental problems. Again, I don't know how that light turns on or what logic it goes through in order to get up there. But it's kind of like some circuits I was looking at beforehand. Sometimes like only part of it fails. Some of it succeeds. Like the button still works, still has power. Oh, that's my meter. So how long have I been on this thing for? About an hour. I'll stop at an hour. And I'm just gonna let this thing sit, I guess. That's safe. That's safe. There's nothing's gonna eat away at it. That. Probably. So dipping it into the isopropyl and then going along the contacts seemed to be not a bad idea. I'm doing a bigger chip, so I'm kind of trying to make sure it's not too much. But what I hadn't done is done along the contacts of the larger chip. So I'm doing it again at a slight angle. And just because I want to have all of those things kind of go up and down and slide it. And now what do I have? Oh, look. Remember how there used to be like sort of gunk in there beforehand that I thought was like impossible to remove? It's all gone now. Look at that. Now it's super clean. Wow, this is a really good technique. Dip the toothbrush in isopropyl and then brush it like teeth. That was brilliant. Like, look at that. It's good as new. Now, if I'd only done that like right away, I might have saved this. But as it stands, I don't think I have. I think it's done. But sometimes I've gotten stuff where I was like, oh shit. Like it's like covered in all these sugars and things. Like there's no fucking way to undo that. But now I have a method. And it's weird. I've never heard anybody else talk about it. These are all kind of black arts. So I guess I mean, it's holding charge. It's pushing at 3.7. Everything here's fine. I could try that. I don't think that's going to be a problem. Oh, look at that. Super clean. It's a very easy technique. I think lots of people have discovered it before. I'm just it'd be a kind of a funny book to write, you know, something like hi, I suck at circuits. Here's the things that I've learned. You know, you're always so used to, like, I talked about this last time I was doing that thing with the CPU. Is the LGA 2011 is like there's all of these YouTube videos of people who are really good at these things, and like it just makes it look super easy, and I fucking hate it because whenever I try to do stuff, like it fails. It's actually quite difficult. And oh, and then I just did blah 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 blah, and you're like, oh, well, lucky you, son of a bitch. It's kind of like, you know, there's people that are like, oh, all I need to, you know, watch me do gymnastics. Look, the backflip is so fucking easy, and you're like, yeah, go fuck yourself. Like it's not easy. It's only easy for you. Oh my god. So anyway. I'm going to leave the thing plugged in for all night, I guess, and then try to make it work tomorrow, and if it doesn't, just throw it away. Again, not a total loss. I figured out the toothbrush technique. That was not terrible. It was probably hosed before I started working on it. Probably irreparable, and cleaning wasn't going to help it. But who knows? This charging that I'm doing might actually do something. Here, let me. You haven't gotten a chance to look at it, like from the back. Let me go to filters. Do this. So here it is. Ooh. There it is. There's one side, and there's the other side. Yep. Sorry, it's dark in here. Remember, I turned off the light. Yeah, I was gonna still wanted to go charge my car. It's 2 o'clock. Whatever, I'm gonna go do that. Yeah, fuck it. Hopefully by tomorrow, I can plug this thing in, and it's not gonna actually. Yeah, did you see it? I just realized that this thing's cropped. There it is. Hopefully by tomorrow. We'll see. If I press a button on here, it's just going to turn on. I put that in the 5% chance category. Yeah, it's a 20-to-1 odds. It's not. I'm going to turn it back on again. But we'll find out tomorrow. I'll report back.